Yo, what up? What up? What up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican Badman, Sergio, aka the Floor Price Guy, and we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown. This time in the form of UFC 323. Marab Dvalishvili taking on Peter Yan for a second time. In the co-main event, we have some flyweight action. We have Alexandre Pantoja taking on the surging Joshua Van. Some good fights on this card, man. A lot of 50-50 matchups. But before we do that, we hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. How are you doing, my man?
I'm good, brother. Excited. It was a good week. There was a lot of boxing stuff going on last weekend. I think Devin
How'd you do on
Haney.
boxing? How'd you do on boxing?
I'm sorry, Devin Haney was 2 weeks ago. I killed it on Devin Haney.
Nice.
Devin Haney at a half. Sorry, it was an underdog, bro. I killed it. We did good overall. Like it was a very good card. But follow us on X if you want more information. We're always live there tweeting. That's where we kind of really get into it, and here we kind of discuss um, strategy and go from there.
Yeah, right on. Let's get into this card. You have the screen up? You good?
Yes, sir. Let me activate it. Kicking out. Let me see if I time kicking out the prelims. Your boy Muhammad Naimov, the Hillman. I thought this man was the Hitman. I was the versus Myron Santos. And listen, let me slap a little bit. Myron Muhammad Naimov has looked amazing when it comes to his takedown defense, striking, looking very good, coming in as a plus 250, plus 205 dog, and it does reflect that now he's a plus 210. So there's been good money coming on Myro Santos, which is four out of his last fight, both fighters. Now, the one key thing to take into consideration is his fight against Francis Marshall. And you know this, my boy was gifted. My boy finished the third round, but he was gifted the draw. So shout out to him.
The
Gifted the
draw.
draw. Sorry, the win. He was gifted the split
Um,
decision win where Francis Marshall should have won it. And I think we both had money on Santos too. So um, it just tells you where we're at. But yeah, he's sitting at a minus 258. His last one against Sadiq Yusuf. And yeah, it's not the same Sadiq that I remember of, right? But I'll kick it into you, champ. What are your thoughts about this fight?
I like Myron Santos here. I think against Sadiq, he looked good, right? Like his striking activity in that fight was really good. He was active. He pushed the pace. He managed the distance really well. You know, he has that Muay Thai background, so he throws vicious leg kicks. And his takedown defense is okay. I mean, we saw it against Francis Marshall. There were some hiccups there, but then it did get better in the next fight. He's going up against Muhammad Naimov, who's well rounded, but he's been facing grapplers, right? Like he lost to Felipe Lima, who's also a well-rounded guy. He lost via submission. He lost to Con Ofley. Con Ofley is the little man, he's a bit short for the division in my opinion, but he's primarily a grappler. He lost via unanimous decision, and he lost to Bogdan Grad, who we saw getting knocked out by Luke Riley, right? Who's primarily a grappler well as well.
Hey, we don't
I
talk
think
about that, right? We don't talk about
Oh,
the Luke Riley knockout.
Luke Riley's gonna lose. Like it's gonna be soon when he loses because
Okay,
getting
I'm just
taken
giving
down
you
with
shit.
ease is gonna be interesting. But anyways, I think here he's going up against a striker who can manage the distance, who can push a pace, and if he just resorts to the wrestling, I don't think he's gonna be able to hold him down for long. He might get some takedowns, but I don't think he's gonna be able to hold him down for long. So I like Santos here. He should set a pace. He should have good enough takedown defense. He should keep the range, kind of like the Sadiq Youssef fight. So I like him here.
I like Muhammad Naimov. I like the team he's coming from. Now, this is a challenge, like I said. Like if we're judging the fight based on the Felipe Lima, um, what do you call it, submission? Well, Felipe Lima is a good fighter. Like Felipe Lima is like holy shit good. Myro Santos has been trying to find himself, and I think he's there. But this is a closer fight than I anticipate. I do like these odds. At a plus 210. I'm going with Naimov. And I mean, look, I might not bet, but I'm going to chase the live bet. I'm going to see how active that first round is. Feel me?
Mhm.
Like how both fighters, yeah. Because if it shifts, if he has a very dominant round, it's going to shift to either or, right? But I don't know. This has the potential of a live bet, so I'll keep my eyes on that. I want to see what I'm looking for the live bet champ. I'm looking for um, just takedown defense. I'm looking for kind of more striking. Now from Santos, like you said, I'm looking for kind of what do you call it? Strikes to the what do you call it? Those tie kicks to the calf, to the quad. Um, I want these guys to engage, but this is a light bet for me.
Right on. We're both on opposing ends here. You're going with Muhammad Naimov, and I'm going with Myron Santos to get it done. Move on here to our next bout. We have a middleweight bout. Mansoor Abdul Malik taking on Antonio Tricoli. Abdul Malik is a Division I wrestler out of the University of Maryland Athletics. He comes forward. He utilizes his strikes to level change and secure takedowns. He has some pops behind his strikes. Against Nick Klein 2 fights ago, he was stunned early, and then he bounced back and got the KO victory. Against Brundage, it was originally ruled as was it a decision win, or did he KO him and then it went to a decision? He headbutted him and then he
No,
went to the strikes, right? And then
no, so
It stopped there and it went to the scorecards, right? And then he won.
yeah, it was kind of like
Yeah,
a split decision. Yeah, like kind of like a split decision one, and then it was overturned after months, which is insane.
yeah. So I don't know, man. Antonio Tricoli, he's long, he's tall. He often looks to maintain the range and slowly creep into the pocket, then look to secure takedowns. He can strike and wrestle, but a lot of people give him a lot of credit because he came in on short notice and looked good against Shara Magomedov until he got KO'd. And then last time out, he was submitted by Trey Shangor, who's no longer with the promotion. So I think this is a good spot for Malik. I think they're building him. They're slowly building him. He's going to dominate here with the wrestling. He's probably going to get a finish here, probably a submission. So I'm going to go with Malik.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tricoli's known for dating Mackenzie Dern. That's how I know him. A fighter with very good range, but doesn't really know how to utilize it. That's that's what I see here. Will he learn against Mansoor, or will he put it into place? I don't think so. Mansoor is going to come in like a bat out of hell. One of the key factors that Cody Brundage had a good fight with that I went to a decision was that Mansoor did get tired. I don't expect for Antonio to tire him out. Um, Two finishes for Tricoli. I highly doubt Tricoli gets it done. Um, we're gonna go with the finish inside the distance for Mansoor.
Yeah, I think this is a good spot for Mansoor. And I think the Cody Brundage fight was kind of, as you mentioned, he got tired, but also Cody can wrestle too. So he has kind of that wrestling background. So he kind of was able to scramble with them as well. And on the feet, he has some pop too. But Tricoli, I don't see a path to victory for him, right? Unless he comes in with incredible takedown defense. But I think I agree with
Yeah,
you. Malik's probably
it's
gonna.
tricky. It's like I said, like my boy hasn't shown me anything, and like he's just two fights in the UFC, two losses,
Yeah,
and
right.
we all know why he probably said, yeah, we're gonna go with Abdul.
We're
But
both on the side of Mansoor. What's up, man?
would you put him on a parlay?
Mansoor at a minus. What is he right now?
It's not
He's
worth
at a
it.
minus 1,000. No,
It's
no,
insane.
man.
That's why I asked you.
And then I made bets last week during the Thanksgiving weekend. I made a lot of bets, and Mansoor and Tricoli wasn't on there. So I'll probably wait till the end of the week to see what props I can find. Maybe the under, or inside the distance, or submission, something like that. I'll look.
Well, what is under is a 195. So the under looks good. The
Yeah,
over is a
I
plus
don't
one.
have those right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's 195 right now for the under. Interesting. So they're
Yeah, 195.
anticipating this.
Like, well, they're expecting it they're expecting the finish, which I would want to know what is the actual finish of a what's inside the distance for Abdul, which should be like a minus 300, right? 350, minus 400,
If it's
depending.
minus 190, it should be around there. Yeah, 250, 300.
Yeah, minus 250, and then what about the first round? Because he has the potential of getting it done in the first round, but we'll find out, right?
Yep. Next up, we have some light heavyweight action. We have Ebo taking on Iwo. Ebo Aslan taking on Iwo Baranuiski. Uh, Iwo is well rounded. He's not great. He hasn't had his grappling tested too much. He's still young in his fighting career, 6-0. He's coming off that KO victory to Muhammad Ali on the Dana White Contender Series. He's had a mixed amount of wins in the regional circuit, finishing guys via submission or KO. He's fought decent enough competition to showcase that he's well rounded and that he can grapple as much as he can strike. Ibo Aslan is generally known for the Turkish power, right? His power behind his shots. However, he does have withering cardio and tends to fade. Last time out against Billy Alakana was a staring contest. It wasn't much excitement, right? I think we both were on the side of Ibo to get back in the win column after losing via submission to Kutalaba, and he just disappointed, right? It was a staring contest. And against Kutalaba, he kind of showcased how he is bad off his back, right? Like once he gets taken down, he's off his back, he's defenseless. Kutalaba submitted him. So I'm gonna go with Ewo here. Though my only concern is that he's making his debut. I don't know how nervous he's gonna be, but he should be the more aggressive fighter and
Oh,
should have the grappling edge.
Poland, correct? Ewo.
Yeah, I said Ewo.
Okay. Yeah, Ito and Evo fucking guys have the same. I'm gonna go with Ebo here. I think I looked at the fight, the contender series fight, and I judged him for that fight and caught him with an overhand right. Um, and the Billy Alicana fight, both fighters was very hesitant. Billy was the underdog actually, and I put a live bet on Billy, and yeah, it's just inactivity and stuff like that. If this goes into an exchange, for example, I do expect Ebel to come out with the fireworks. Like, let's look at the reach. What are we looking at here? We're looking at kicking advantage. Leg reach will go to Ewo. I think Ewo's a little bit. Both gentlemen are stuck. Let's be honest with you. Both gentlemen are not the greatest when it comes to footwork. The reach advantage does go to Aslan. So I'm hoping for Aslan to detonate overhand rights and hooks and a la Rafael Sequeria style. We'll see. It's a very good fight. Odds makers, like I said, like we're looking at, it's minus 192 for Evo. Aslan is plus 160. I got Evo on this, and I'll look at the live bet, but I think if we want to kind of like lick our lips a little bit, I think the 1.5 under 1.5 at a minus 195 as well. Like, so they have similar odds to Mansour. They expect to finish here.
Right on. You're on the side of Ebo. I'm on the side of Ewo. And you said Rafael Securia. When is he throwing a right hand, a right overhook?
No. The way he kind of finished when Aslan fought Serkaria, he just like unloaded on him. So I'm expecting
Oh, okay.
that type of volume. Yeah, but like I said, I would be very cautious with the overhand right of what do you call it, of Ewo, because Ewo did come in as an underdog at a plus 230. And
I don't think they're gonna grapple. I don't think they're gonna strike. I think he's gonna come in and grapple. I think he saw what
so.
Kutala was able to do, put him on his back, and then close that distance because he does give up range. At least in the first round, we'll probably see him take him down, tire him out. But we'll see the fight IQ, right? If he tries there and stand there with somebody who has range, who has power, it's not gonna be as smart, right, for Ewo. But
No,
we'll
it's
see.
not.
I think the grappling though is gonna be the key difference here. If he's able to close that distance, right, not get caught, like you're saying.
Yeah, let's see. Well, and also if this guy learned from his last fight, but we'll find out.
Yeah. We have Edson Barbosa taking on Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner, if you don't remember last time out, he lost to Ignacio Bajamondes via submission triangle choke. Prior to that, he lost to Renato Moicano at UFC 300. He's going through some mental lapses. He took some break, and then now he's back. So the biggest concern for everybody is what's his mindset, right? Is he here for a check? Is he here to just get paid, or is he officially back? Is in the right state of mind? He realizes that he has the tools. He realizes that he's young, that he's still developing, and that he can get better than what he already is, right? That's the only concern. He's going up against Edson Barbosa, who's a good striker. He has solid movement and vicious leg kicks. We all know. You're going to hear Joe Rogan. I bet $1,000 you're going to hear Joe Rogan immediately say, "Oh, look at those kicks. He's feeling it. Those kicks are vicious. His leg is going to buckle anytime soon." Some bullshit like that. He has KOs. He has submissions on his belt. Last time out, though, he lost to Drakkar Klose, and I did not like how he looked in that fight. Drakkar Klose almost finished him. He lost via unanimous decision. He wobbled him on the feet a couple times. And then prior to that, he lost to Lerone Murphy via unanimous decision. He beat Sadiq Youssef, beat Billy Quarantillo, and lost to Bryce Mitchell via unanimous decision. So, and then you look on the side of Turner, As I mentioned, Moncano, Ignacio Bajamones, he beat King Green. He lost to Dan Hooker. He lost to Mateus Gamrot. I think when you look at Jalen Turner, he's long, he's lengthy, he's well rounded. He's primarily a striker. If you look at that fight with Dan Hooker, that was a war, man. That was a good fight. A split decision loss, but that was a good, back and forth battle on the striking. I'm gonna go with Jalen Turner, man. I think somebody like yourself who always talks about length and reach. He doesn't have the much reach in terms of arm length, but he is taller, right? He is
Yeah.
taller, so fighting a shorter opponent, he's gonna have a bit of success. I feel so. Hopefully, he's in the right mindset. I'm gonna go with Jalen Turner. I like him here to get a dub.
In addition to length, he has lesser fights in the UFC. He
Hmm.
has the age advantage, and I think this is where Barbosa has that wear and tear. Barbosa has fought every single top contender that is now in the top of that division. And it's just like Gaethje. What do you call it? You look at his last losses. Like now he's fighting, the guys, and he is coming up from featherweight. I mean, he came back. So Drakkar close fight was at 155. The reality is Barboza is a 145er. That Leron Murphy fight, the Sadiq Youssef was Sadiq Youssef was a great fight, by the way. Came back, but it's just different. It really is different. I'm gonna go, and I love Barboza. I'm gonna go with Jalen Turner. I would love to kind of see his headspace.
Yeah,
Like the thing is, if Barboza had more reach, especially with the kicking. Let me look at the kicking range. What are we looking at here? No, so it's going to be a little bit hard, like I said. So 41-inch leg reach for Barboza. Jalen Turner looking at a 46.5-inch reach advantage when it comes to the feet. 2 on the arm length, and then the guy's 6'3".
yeah,
So here's the thing about it. Even though if Barboza is able to come in, um, Jalen could potentially catch him up. The fact that he went to a split decision with Gamrot and Dan and he there, and also let's not forget that the Renato Moicano fight, he was winning that fight. Low IQ is what lost him that fight.
hmm,
My brother should have finished that guy, not fight, not savor his what do you call it? His Derek Lewis moment. You're not Derek Lewis, bro. Just paint the
yeah,
price. I'm gonna go with Jalen Turner though. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Barbosa does something like what the odds are looking at. Yeah, a minus 305 for Jalen Turner. I'm personally going to stay away from the Jalen Turner.
yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Stay
This
away
is
from it because you don't
under.
know. You don't know.
No, 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 no. Yeah, and like I said, the issue with Barboza, bro, is wear and tear and the conditioning. Because if you press this guy, he will fatigue.
Yeah, I agree
And
with you.
yeah. So I think the under 1.5 is a good bet. I don't want what the under 1.5 at minus 125.
You think he's gonna get finished, Barbosa?
I think Barbosa could get finished because the only way Barbosa wins is he has to kind of step into the line of fire, and it's like Joe Rogan says when you have to pass through all these razors to get to the kick, not even to the overhand, to just to kick him, right? So he just has to frame himself, use that reach, and wait for him to come in. Body, we'll see.
Yeah. Right on. We're both on the side of Jalen Turner to get it done against Edson Barbosa on his return after his brief retirement. We'll move on to our next bout in the middleweight division. We have your boy Marvin Vittori taking on Bruno Ferreira. Vittori's on a bit of a losing streak. He lost his last three, first to Allen, the leads and Cannoneer in 2023. He is well rounded, southpaw with durable striking and a strong wrestling base. He's his footwork isn't the best, but he has a durable chin, right? He's never been finished in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Never been knocked out, right? Last time out against the Lidze, 2 fights ago against the Lidze, there were rumors about his shoulder being injured, right? He was either anticipating surgery or he just got out of surgery. I don't remember too well around that time. And then against Brendan Allen, uh, he was taken down 3 or 4 times, and then he did lose these striking exchanges, and he lost that fight. Was it unanimous, or it was a unanimous decision to Brendan Allen? Um, Dolitz is actually younger than he's a year younger than Fajeda, and it feels like Fajeda It feels like Fajitas.
What's Marvin Vittori known for on Twitter?
You want me to say it?
My boy loves that N word like it, bro. It's insane. My boy, no boy's crazy. But anyways, go ahead,
Yeah,
bro.
and he's fought a fucking killers.
Everybody.
He fought a killers of who's Kevin Holland, Israel Adesanya, Paulo Costa, Robert Whitaker, Roman Dolidze, Jared Cannonier. Yeah, man. He's going up against Bruno Ferreira, who's an aggressive striker who moves in and out and has power behind his strikes. He has a 60% takedown defense. He also has a judo background and can mix in the grappling, throws, trips, etc. He's on a 2-fight winning streak both coming off a sub, to Armin Petrosian, where, I told you, submission. And he was the underdog in that fight, and the submission prop bet we hit as well. And then against Jackson McVeigh, we hit the submission prop as well. Jackson McVeigh was on short notice. Obviously, Marvin Vittori has fought the better competition, and earlier in his career, he used to mix in the grappling with his striking, but he hasn't done like against Dolidze, he didn't use the grappling. Against Brendan Allen, he got taken down 3 out of 4. But Brendan Allen's a grappler first, right? And as you mentioned, his striking is good. I think Fajeda can be dangerous here in the clinch, right? Because he has that judo. He has that power. My only concern with Bruno Fajeda is that he does gas, or he has gassed in the past, right? Like we saw him against, I think it was a boost, Magomedov, where he gassed and he got submitted. So that's my only concern, but I'm hoping that he's improved on that and he's going to fight at a better pace and fight a more technical, better fight. I think Bruno Fajeda can get it done here, but, a lot of people are rooting for Marvin Vettori, so we'll see.
So you're going with Ferrer, right?
Yeah, I'm going with Ferreira. I'm just
So
going to go with the guy with the momentum, the guy who's,
yeah,
you know,
there's nothing wrong with that, right? And like I said, I like Vittori. Vittori has been through nails, and like I said, that Brandon Ellen fight, it wasn't an easy fight. Like Brandon Ellen is actually Brandon Ellen has always just been known for being inconsistent, right? But that fight, Marvin gave him hell. But that reach advantage that presented itself was a little bit difficult. Now the tables turn here, and Martin Vittori has the reach. In addition to the reach, Martin Vittori has a high level, like high striking counts. We're talking averaging over 100, right? So when we look at, for example, last fight with Brandon Allen, over 100 strikes. Roman, over 100 strikes. What do you call it? Jared Cannonier, over 100. Roman the first, over 100. So this guy is known. Well, the only one that it's so is Izzy and Robert Whitaker. Why am I saying that? If we look at the strikes of my man Bruno Ferreira, we're looking at 7, known for grappling, when he kind of was striking 24, 19, 3, but these are finishes. So Ferreira needs a finish in order to get this done.
And let's not forget, Ferreira finished RoboCop, Gregory Rodriguez, in
Let me see.
2023. So he does have some power. He does have some pop behind his shots. And I know Vittori hasn't been finished before, but what's the saying that everyone says? You haven't been finished until you have, right? You haven't been finished until you have. So, that counter left against Gregory Rodriguez, that was early. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was 2023. And that was good.
And Gregory Rodriguez was the bigger fighter. He did have the reach. He have all the things you're saying right now.
Yeah, but that was also a different Gregory Rodriguez. Let's not kid ourselves. That you put that same Gregory Rodriguez against him now, and it's a different fight. What's funny? Armin Petrosian also beat Gregory Rodriguez. So let's keep it to a minimum, champ.
You also picked Armin. Remember that
for what fight?
Against Bruno.
I think I did.
Yeah,
justified. Yeah, and he had the better the what do you call it? The more significant strikes until he got popped with an armbar. I'm gonna go with Vittori here. I think So here's the thing about it: if Vittori loses this, I think he's done. So let's really see what he has in the gas tank. If he's able to come out with a similar performance as he did against Allen, I will give him a shot. But again, Ferreira's known for gassing out. Yeah, if there's a prop bet to put inside the distance for Ferreira and the decision for Vittori, I would slam that, or by points, I would slam that.
I'll say this. I didn't want to say it, but I'll say that I think that Vittori should have taken time after losing his brother. I feel like his mindset is not in the right place. It's not in the fighting mindset right now. It's not like in the I want to get back to championship contention, right? Like the Brendan Allen fight, I just feel like he should have taken more time off, man, after losing his brother. So we'll see, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully he comes in.
But
And
they
he,
were
I mean,
close
I
fights.
like Warren Vittori. What happened?
But there were also close fights. Like going into the Roman fight, like so if you go to the Roman fight, he won 2 rounds, and Roman just edged him at the end, right? It's just inactivity prior to Jared Cannonier against Brendan Allen. Sure, give what do you call it? Give Brendan Allen sorry, scorecards. 1 second. Also, these guys were fighting. 1 second, sorry. I just want to see the scorecards, right? Because I'm pretty positive that okay, here it is. So the scorecards. I mean, only one judge gave him the second round. I also gave him the second round for Vittori. The other judges
Mhm.
gave him a 30 27, 27, 27 30, 29 28. Like, let's see where he's at, right? Like you said, the brother situation is it's unfortunate, but like that's how these guys deal with it, right? There's no therapy. It's like let me fight. So
There is therapy. There's therapy. Look at
for
Pat
some, for
Sabatini,
some,
man. He came
for
back from
some,
therapy looking like a beast.
for some. Let's see.
So we're on opposing ends here. But you're going with Vittori. I'm going with Ferreira. Brazil in the house. Italy on the other side. We'll move on to our next bout. We have some lightweights getting after it. We have our boy Fares Ziam taking on Nazim Sadikov. Sadikov has good grappling and striking. He trains out of the same camp with Marab Dvalishvili, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Uh-huh.
He's 31 years old. He's 5'10, 69-inch reach. He does give up 6 inches of reach in this fight. He's a versatile striker with a southpaw stance. He's known for his precision and power. He has a strong kickboxing base with a notable overhand right and effective combinations. My man usually starts off slow. He gets his reasons and then he takes off, right? But if you look at his last 3 fights, he drew to Vyacheslav Borishev, right? Slava Claus. He lost to Ismail Bonfim, where it was a weird doctor stoppage, right? I think a kick grazed the eye of Ismail, and as he was getting talked to the doctor, he said he can't continue, but the doctor thought he said stop, right? There was a language barrier, and the fight was
Yeah.
stopped. And then against Nicholas Malta, he did, people are gonna see that, be like, oh, he KO'd Nicholas Malta. But if you remember that fight, Nicholas Malta had him hurt. And he dropped, I think, a 60 punch combination on him or something like that prior to getting caught, right? So it shows his resiliency and his dog. He's able to come back. But he did get dropped in that fight, and he did get a flurry of punches coming at him. And then he obviously KO'd. I'm not KO'd. He submitted Terrence McKinney via rear naked choke, and then he KO'd Evan Alder. So he does have some power behind his strikes. These two were originally supposed to fight, but Ziam suffered a loss in the family, right? His grandmother passed away. He took some
Yeah.
time off, and now they're rebooked to take on their fight here. Ziam is a technical striker. He's long, he's raging, he's rangy, he has that kickboxing background. He can pick and pop or get in the clinch and throw elbows and secure takedowns. He primarily sticks on the outside in points fights. Last time out, we saw him against Mike Davis, where a lot of people had the side of Davis, right? He was a dog in that fight, and I think we both picked Fares Ziam. And Mike Davis did have him in some compromising situations on the ground, right? Like he almost had that knee, his knee almost popped. I forgot what it was, if it was a knee bar or something. I forgot what he had him in, but he showed that he's durable. He's fucking flexible as shit, man. And he has some dog in him. Um, but yeah, man, prior to that, he beat Matt Favola via KO and that nice spinning knee kick, right? Where his coach said, turn into him. And then he turned around and got knocked out. He beat Claudio Puelles via split decision, Jai Herbert via unanimous decision, Michael Figit via unanimous decision. So I like Ziam here, man. I think he's going to utilize that range, right? He has a 3-inch height advantage, a 6-inch reach advantage. I don't know what the leg advantage is. You'll probably look at that. But
1 inch.
I think he's going to stay on the outside. He's going to have good enough takedown defense. He's going to be able to scramble on the ground. I like Ziam here.
This is a live bet fight for me. I am gonna go with Sadikov, but this is a live bet. This is This is a very interesting fight. Range versus power. I feel it's going to be now. Faraz does have power as well. Has very slick power. Um, yeah, this is a very 50-50 fight, man. Even like right now, like we're looking at the odds at a plus 114.
Yep.
At, sorry.
I said, yep.
Yeah, it's very close. Like I said, there's no like I said, if you look at last performances and you look at Ziam looks like the more less compromising fighter. Nazim has put himself in compromising positions. Um, I'm gonna go with Zadikov, and it's like I'm not gonna bet. I'm gonna kind of check the live betting. I'm gonna see momentum. I'm gonna see how each fighter, how do they kind of go. Like I will expect Nazim to kind of switch it up a little bit with the grappling, or Faraz as well. Like this could be a striker. This is a striker's delight if we're not careful here. So yeah, I mean the reach isn't. It doesn't. The reach is significant though. Like the arm reach. That being said,
Let me see. I want
uh,
to see Nicholas Malta reach.
yeah.
Because
Well, the thing,
Nicholas Malta, he's a lot shorter, right? Nicholas Malta, if I'm not
yep.
mistaken.
But he packs a punch. That's the issue with Mora. Mora is known for packing like heat in his punching power.
70. So Malta has 5 inches less than Ziam. He was able to get in there. It's interesting. Okay.
5 inches less
Yeah, he's
than
70. He's 70.
okay, so he was able to kind of come inside. But I don't think Faraz fights him in a phone booth, right? Faraz has to, you know, you like if he understands how to fight this guy, he has to kind of choose his fighting. Now, the one thing that we get from Zadikov is all the unorthodox kickings, like the spinning kick, the front kick, the
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Like we're like I said, this is a live bet, man. I'm not making any bets for a lot of these guys. Like you said, there's a lot of 50-50 fights, and
Yeah.
we're gonna see how it is, right? I know, one of the things to highlight for Zadikov is that I see here he has John Wood in his corner too, so he's adopted the same road as Sterling, Marab, kind of looking for, okay, we got Longo, but we also in Syndicate, so we're getting the best. And this is a battle, bro. This is going to be very cool. And like I said, Kill Cliff, um, known for what do you call it? Their striking coach. I'm gonna go with Zadikov, but this is not an easy fight. It really isn't.
I'm gonna go with Ziam. I got him earlier at a closer odds. I'm pretty confident in him. I like Ziam. We'll move on. You're with Zadikov. I'm with Ziam. We'll see. It's gonna be a banger fight, right? Banger fight. Move on to some women. Some women flyweight. We have Macy Barber taking on Karini Silva. Macy Barber. Last time I was supposed to fight Erin Blanchfield on a fight night. Then had a seizure before the walkout at the main event was squashed. Right. We were given the Ludovic Klein versus Mateus Gamera 3-round main event. You remember that? It's a horrible. I think that was the worst card this year. Prior to that, she beat Sermonara via unanimous decision. Barber is primarily a power striker. She has 7 KO, TKO wins. She relies on her forward pressure, her heavy punches, and clinch work. Her grappling is, it's good. It's not the best, right? It's not the most refined, but it's doable. She has a 44% takedown defense. Um, she does have vicious ground and pound. We've seen it in the past, right? If she does get that top mount, if she does scramble or find a position at advantage, she does rain some vicious strikes. Her cardio and durability are good. She does lack the ground game. That's why, like, against Erin Blanchfield would have been a tough fight, right? Because she does give up control, she does give up stuff like that. But she's going up against somebody in Silva who's not like an Erin Blanchfield. She is a grappler, though. She's strong. She's a solid grappler. She has a BJJ background. Her striking is functional, and she utilizes them to secure takedowns. She shoots doubles, pushes you against the fence, drags you down once on the ground. She looks for submissions, right? Last time out, though, against Dione Barbosa, she did have her back taken a couple times, right? Dione Barbosa was on short notice. She was losing some of the striking exchanges. And I think Dione Barbosa should have won that fight. She beat her via unanimous decision, but I would have given it to Dione, man. Just Dione was on short notice, and she probably got tired in the third round.
We had money on Diona. Did you remember? We had good
Yeah,
money on.
yeah, she had money. We had money in the only. And prior to that, she lost to Vivian Araujo via unanimous decision. She had poor takedown defense against Araujo. Araujo landed 3 of 3 takedowns and controlled her for like 2.5 minutes, I want to say. So, what am I saying here, right? Am I gonna side with Karine Silva, who was losing the striking exchanges to Dione Barbosa and some aspects of the fight, over Macy Barber, who's a better striker, right? Because Dione Barbosa is primarily like she's a jiu-jitsu specialist, right? She's good on the ground. She has some
Yeah.
nice boxing as well, some nice strikes, but I think Macy Barber is a better striker, more technical, more powerful striker. I'm gonna go with Macy Barber here, man. I like her in this fight. I'm not sold on Karina Silva. I know she's training with the fighting nerds. Yeah, so I don't know, man. Remember like middle of last year or middle of this year or the beginning of the year, everybody was picking fighters who were training with the
Yeah.
fighting nerds, but it's really just those four guys, right? I mean, look at Myra Bueno Silva, right? How many fights has she won?
Well, it's great for them because then they get a little bit of money, right? Like their
Yeah,
management company gets a little bit of money, and things are looking good. It's like, hey, what's going on?
yeah.
Um,
You know what I see real quick? I see the potential for Silva securing a takedown, losing the position, and then Macy Barber landing some strikes, either from side control or from top mount. But I think Barber can edge it out here, man. Get in the win column.
I like that, right? Like I'm putting a parlay up with Barber right now. I'll tell you my next pick. You'll appreciate it after this fight. We're gonna go with Barber, man. I mean, look, I when it came down to striking with Dione Barboza, Barboza had the clear advantage on the top, right?
Yeah,
Dione did who took this fight short notice? Was it Dione, right? If I'm
it
not
was
mistaken.
Dione. It was Dione.
Yeah. So there was a conditioning issue, and to me, Dione won. It's just Karine Silva was able to take her down, but she really didn't do anything with those takedowns because
Yeah.
he got up. Like that is actually like. Let me just give me 1 second. Let me Give me 1 second because this needs to be analyzed now that we're here. If we're going to go on Karina Silva, we're going to go with Dione Barber. We see here that it was, what do you call it? 26 strikes. But where was those strikes though? Okay. So Karina Silva. Yeah. So it's just a weird, like even here, like she was gifted that like if you look at the strike in round 1 and round 3, okay,
Mhm.
Dione takes it. Then you look at the one right by 1 point, but then you look at takedowns, and Dione Barbosa actually took her down more times.
Yep.
Um, like I said, such a strange fight. Um, like I said, the baby punches won the fight. I guess if you're able, yeah, 100%. Like that's what I'm attributing to. I'm gonna go with Barber, man. I think Barber is hungry. She's been addressing her issues that she's
Mhm.
had. Very active on threads too. She tries to engage with the fans, and yeah, and right now she's at a minus 180. I have her on a parlay, and I think she gets it done, man. Because she's also like when she came and she was green. She was trying to be the first women's, the youngest women's UFC champion, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like she was with the Uriah Faber Alpha Male Camp, and things have come out of Uriah with the Dominic Cruz Fightcast. Is like over there's not really a head coach that takes ownership of their fighters. It's just fighters training fighters, right? So I think after that she's gotten a hell of a win streak. I have to say, look at this. She's now you do have fighters that are a little bit older here, and also Amanda Ribas. She was at 125, dropped down to 115, different fighter. Let's see how she looks. I think at 27, she should look good. I'm going to go with Barber.
Yep. We're both on the side of Barber to get it done here. You look at Karini's last 3 fights; they're all primarily against grapplers as well. Kind of suitable matchups for her, right? So we'll see.
Yeah.
The fights start standing. We'll move on to our next bout, and I think this is a fight where you would want a live bet right here, right? Because you look at an individual like Terrence McKinney taking on Christian Duncan. Terrence McKinney, in all his professional fights, has ended in the first round, either by win by knockout or submission coming from him, or he's either losing by submission or getting knocked out. So he does have a glass chin. He does have the ability to get knocked out, but he does come out like a rocket, right? He comes out, he looks to put you away, and he pretty much does it most of the time, right? Like last time out against Vaishov, Borshev, he said, "I'm sorry, guys, it took me long. It was like 45 seconds, right?" He got the submission there. This is a tough fight for him, though, in my opinion, right? Because you look at Chris Duncan, right? You look at him in his last three fights. He finished Balazioki via guillotine choke. He finished Jordan Vucinic via guillotine choke. And then he beat Mateus Rebecki via unanimous decision, right? In a war. Both those guys were battered. If you were, I know MMA math doesn't work, but if you were to put Rebecki against McKinney, how would that fight go?
Oof, what's a good one?
You think it'll go the distance or?
No, I mean somebody has to go. Somebody
Yeah.
has to. Somebody has to go.
Exactly, right. And then you look at Terrence McKinney. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He beat Damir Hadzovic and then beat Vyacheslav Borshev. And then he lost to Esteban Ribovic via KO. He beat Brendan Morrow and then Mike Breeden. I think Chris Duncan has been looking good, man. American Top Team is training with solid grapplers, right? They have him locked in. He has knockout power. He's improving. His striking is chaotic, but it's effective. And then he lands a lot of significant strikes per minute. I think about 4.5 or 4.6. He does, however, have weak striking defense. I think for McKinney to have success, he's going to have to come out fast, take him down. But do you think he's going to be able to take him down, right? And the thing with McKinney is we haven't seen how he looks in the second, third round, right? If it does get there. So, like I said, it's going to be an opportunity to live bet here. I'm going to go with Chris Duncan. I think Chris Duncan has the more, how would I say it? I don't want to say IQ. He has the better IQ, I would say, right? Because he knows Terrence McKinney's going to come out strong, and I think his team's going to prepare for that. Going to stuff some takedowns and then land some good shots, and then probably in the second round put him away, I would say, if not the first. But you look at McKinney, man, he's good everywhere, right? He has solid striking, he has good wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's inconsistent. His chin has been tested. He got dropped by Dober, by Woodson, by Ribovic. Yeah, man, it's an interesting fight. I think what's the under 1.5? What is that, like a minus 500?
This is minus 360.
Minus 360. I would lean more towards McKinney if he hasn't been knocked out a bunch of times, right? Like if his chin hasn't been proved to be kind of weak, I would pick him. I would lean towards him, but I think Chris Duncan's going to get it done here, man. Chris Duncan should get it done.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the ultimate gamble here, and I'm going to go with Terrence McKinney. And there's something about Duncan. Oki underdog, Jordan underdog, Rebecki underdog. Right? There's something about him. Now he enters as the favorite, right? And the odd makers, like the people that place the bets, they're looking at the fight and they're saying, look, McKenzie's going to go in there and he has one round to get it done, but he like Esteban Ribovic, bro, he's no joke. Like Esteban is a top 15 fighter.
Look at those last five for both, and who has fought the better competition in the last five.
So what it really comes down to is the value of Esteban Ribovic and the value of Mateus Rebecki. That is where I go in on the value. I don't think, but I think Terrence fades Oki as well. You got Manuel Torres though. Manuel Torres was there. I think you got to give it a Duncan just based off Manuel Torres just having two kind of upper more fights. But McKinney, let's see, man, because at some point you got to understand, like, what you really think he's going into this fight and telling himself, like, I need to put this guy down in the first, because if he's thinking that way, he's going to get fatigued, right? But I think he's looking at this fight differently. Like, if I were him, all that training, you can, if the finish appears, go for it, right? He showed better patience against Borshev, I have to say. Way better patience. It's just he's that good, champ. Always have Duncan with the KO TKO. So I think this is, like you said, I have him in a parlay with Barber at a plus plus something money at a plus. What are we looking at here? Bet 25 to make 93. So that's like a plus 275, 280. I'll say this. Um, I'm gonna be looking at the live betting on this fight. I'm gonna be looking that if this fight starts early, you could bet your butt that Duncan will be the underdog quickly. If McKenzie, like you said, puts it on him, and then you can sweep in if in danger, because Duncan is known for surviving, but will he survive? I think that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Duncan also has good power. Let's not forget the damage, because we look at the fight against Rebecki, and even Rebecki was the more active striker. Like, he over 123 versus 95. Duncan hurt him more times. He was hurt severely. Like, he was, you know, and didn't go for the takedown in this fight. Only went for one takedown, right?
Yeah.
This is why it's so intriguing, right? Fighter versus grappler, but a grappler with durability, and then you have, bro. We don't like Duncan's footwork. Let's be honest, bro. We look at Duncan's, like, I'm a guy, bro. I look at your footwork, bro. I'm like, bro, that's a little bit. It's not good, dog. But Duncan has defied that for me, right? Duncan has made me money with Jordan. Duncan has made me money with Rebecki. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Terrence, man. I just don't think what people think. Like, and what's the odds here? So he started. Yeah, I mean, it's similar odds. It's a plus 140, but minus 166. Like I said, this is a live bet fight. If you want to kind of, if you're going for Chris Duncan, you're waiting for that first round, right?
I'm looking for. I'll be honest. I'm gonna wait for the props. I'm probably just gonna gamble that it goes to a decision just for fun, just because I know it's gonna be like a plus 600 or plus 800. I'm just guessing. I know it's gonna be up there, but that's probably what I'm gonna gamble on. But I'm gonna give the lean towards Chris Duncan, right? Because if McKinney comes in with that mindset, like you said, or a different mindset, right, and not trying to finish fast, then it could go to a decision here, man. But I don't think it will, but I'm still gonna bet
So
it
I
for
have the
Duncan.
odds here. So I actually have the odds here. Odds give um, KO minus 150, submission plus 130, decision plus 700.
There you go. Just told you.
Uh, Chris Duncan by decision plus 1200. Terrence McKinney, and like you're saying, you're right. This has the probabilities of going.
I
What
think it's
happens?
gonna be one of those fights where everyone thinks it's gonna finish early, and it's gonna be those two guys just striking, one stuffing the takedowns, right, and both guys just striking.
Yeah, like I said, putting a little bit of a fiver on a decision is it's a great play. It's what worked against what do you call this girl that won against Silva, Normand Dermont, right? But that was a plus 2000 though. That was a plus 2000. Yeah, I mean, I just like it. KO plus 330. Wow, like holy shit.
Yeah, they're giving you some nice props.
They're giving
I have
you,
to,
yeah.
I have to explore those later on in the week. But yeah, we'll move on here. We're on opposing ends again. We're on a lot of opposing ends on this fight card. We'll move on to our next bout, a lightweight bout. We have Grant Dawson taking on Manuel El Loco Torres. This fight is pretty easy to break down. You have a grappler against an individual who is a power puncher, who also is solid on the ground, right? He's well rounded. Dawson last time out beat Diego Fejeda, where he primarily striked in that fight. Um, I think it's the most he's ever struck in his UFC journey. He's primarily a grappler. He averages 3 to 4 takedowns a fight, applies pressure, looks to control you. His striking isn't the best, and he has been cracked and KO'd in the past by the likes of your boy, King Green. He's going up against Manuel Loco Torres, who is big for the division. He's well rounded. He has a good clinch game. He throws vicious elbows and knees. He has pops behind his strikes and has a solid submission game. First round finishing ability, has 15 of his 19 wins in the first round. He has a relentless pace, submission threat, knockout power. We did see him lose to Ignacio Bajamondes, right, via KO, counter right to ground and pound strikes. But that one, he was a little overzealous. He kind of lunged forward, right? He got caught with the overhand right, the counter right, I mean, and then got those ground punches and lost. And then he came back and beat and KO'd Drew Dober, right? and I think was Drew Dober the underdog or was Manuel Torres the underdog?
No, Dober was the underdog.
Dober was the underdog, right? A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's not gonna knock out Dober. He's not gonna knock out Dober." And Manuel Torres came in and said, "Bah, I'm not gonna what?"
Yep.
Exactly, exactly. This fight, depends on how you see it. Do you see Grant Dawson just having his way with him on the ground, controlling him, and then grinding out a decision, or do you see Manuel Torres showing us something, maybe stuffing a takedown, maybe finding that chin because that chin has been found before, right? I'm gonna go with local Torres, man. I like him. I like, especially at plus money, plus 170. I already put a wager on him. I think he was at plus 180, or I want to say plus 170 when I did it earlier in the week. But yeah, I like a local Torres. The fights start standing. I think he has the ability to find the chin that has been cracked before, and we're gonna be able to see his ground game a bit more here. So I'm gonna go with Torres.
It's a 60-40. 60-40. Well, the one thing you could put money on is that if Torres can get him out in the first, or maybe like there's it's close to a decision, and the decision
Mhm.
fights go to for a plus 300. And Grant Dawson said it the best. I ain't gonna strike with this guy. I'm gonna go take him down. I'm gonna
Yeah.
use my forte. I'm gonna use my strength. I'm gonna go take him down and keep him on the ground, right? And there you could open up the submission. You could do there are all these things that could open up for Grant Dawson. Like I said, like um, wouldn't hurt to put him in a big parlay. Grant Dawson.
Yeah,
I don't
I like
think
that.
his takedown defense has been fully tested yet. To just be honest with each other, right? Dober striker, uh, Ignacio striker, Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan's the one, and he ended up finish Chris Duncan by submission, which is
Chris Duncan and Grant Dawson both train out of American Top Team, and they both have similar fights where they're going up against people that have finished most of their opponents in the first round, right? So I want to see both their game plans, right? Because if you look at the Chris Duncan and Terrence McKinney fight, you can bet your ass that that's going to probably be the same game plan that Grant Dawson's going to have for Manuel Torres, right? So, I mean, you could
against
you
who?
could you could parlay both boys, Chris Duncan and Grant Dawson.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you confused? What I said? I said
No, no,
Grant Dawson and
I got it.
okay.
I was thinking about Terry McKenzie for some reason. I was trying to envision that Dawson fight McKinney, and I'm like,
No, no, I
I got
said if
lost.
you look at how Chris fights Terrence,
Yeah,
you can kind of see how Grant's probably going to fight Manuel Torres because it's similar fights for them.
yeah, yeah, 100%. But
Hmm.
I do, yeah, it is different in that fight because then it's the gas out, like the gas out component in regards to like this guy will gas out, right? Like, sorry, with McKenzie. This is a good fight. I'm trying to look at more prop bets. Like I would like to see um, a takedown prop for Grant Dawson. Like I would go over 3 plus 2.5. If you give me the plus 1.15, I'll take it. But I don't think it goes there. It's not there yet. Um, yeah, let's see what happens. I'm gonna go with Dawson here. I think Dawson gets it done, goes relentless with the grappling, and goes back home to his bumper truck. What was it called? Bumper
Dump
uh,
truck,
dump truck. Yeah,
dump
yeah,
truck. Right on.
dump
We're
truck.
both again on opposite ends here, and I think we're going to be on opposite ends on this next fight. We have light heavyweight action. We have Jan Blachowicz, 41-year-old Jan Blachowicz coming off of 42-year-old Jan Blachowicz coming off of shoulder surgery right up against Carlos Ulberg, who is 1-5 in his last five, taking on Bogdan Guskov, who is 4-5 in their last five. 33 years young. Um, Jan Blachowicz, I mean, what do we know about him, right? He's a former UFC light heavyweight champion. His striking is technically has knockout power. He's fought a plethora of who's who right here. He's fought Carlos Ulberg, who's arguably the next in line for the title shot, him or Jiri. He fought Alex Pereira, who's the best champion currently, right? The most active champion, light heavyweight champ. He drew with Magomed Ankalaev, the former champ. He beat Alexander Rakic, and then he lost to the former champ Glover Teixeira. You know, Block Jan Blachowicz has been around for some time, right? He throws really nice leg kicks. He has power banded strikes. Against Carlos Ulberg, we saw Ulberg point fight him, right? He was kind of picking and popping, moving on the outside, and Jan was chasing him the whole time. And depending on how you scored that fight, you could have had Jan winning that fight, right? Like a lot of us picked Jan to beat Carlos Ulberg, but Ulberg fought a solid game plan. And I don't think Guskov is gonna fight the same fight that Ulberg did. Last time out he beat Nikita Krylov via KO. Uh, Guskov has some pop behind the shots. He pushes the pace. He moves forward. He utilizes his size, controls you against the cage, and then looks to take you down. Pretty well rounded, right? You look at him. He beat Nikita Krylov. He beat Billy Elikana via submission. He beat Ryan Spann. He beat Zach Puga. And then Volkan Ozdemir he lost to. I think the difference between this fight and the Carlos Ulberg fight is that Jan is going to have someone coming forward and applying pressure to him. So it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that. But at 42 years old, man, coming off a shoulder surgery, I'm going to go with Guskov, man. I think, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too, right? Like the Jan style of fighting. If we look at all his fights, in the last, literally, like he was aggressive against Rocky, but that was 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, right? That's I'm a little bit offended that you said I know who you're gonna pick already. I'm a little bit.
I have a feeling you're gonna pick Jan. You usually
we're gonna go
you either pick dudes who have the reach or who have a history.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't think like. Here's the thing about it, like Jan could press forward, but then he's in danger with this guy. This guy, like even against Nikita, like he kind of showed us that he's gonna go out there and he's gonna perform. Now the Ozdemir fight is a very intriguing fight, and like Volkan is on the rise now. Like let me look at this last fight just to kind of see.
Menefield, he knocked out.
Yeah, like that was a great fight. Like I said, like this guy is. He's good. Like Volkan is in a good place mentally. I think that was a very tough fight, and that was his UFC. It's also his UFC kind of like come out party, which is like, dude, that's a top 10 guy. They had to kind of send him to the ranks. I like his pressure. I like his submission. I like his ground game too. And then when I look at Jan doesn't have a ground game. Let's be honest with each other. John's Achilles heels has been the ground game. So what does Jan have going for him? It has to be his what do you call it? His calf kicks. Like he's gonna do the same thing with Magomed, right? Magomed was also very timid in that fight, right? Like it's just a strange fight and the inactivity. And but Carlos Ulberg. Yeah, Carlos Ulberg knocked out Dominic Reyes. We understand that, but we also need to look at it that Carlos Ulberg is a counter striker. He's gonna, and then that's what they were both doing, right? Very very hesitant, waiting.
Yeah,
it's a great fight, I have to say. I'm gonna go with Bolden. I think Bolden at plus money is actually pretty good. I'm gonna have to say, and he hasn't been finished, but the age stuff. Let's see that Polish power, bro. Let's see the Polish power in effect. But I'm gonna go with Bolden.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what Jan does. With someone pressuring him, like pushing him, like I know we've seen it before, right? With like Alex Pereira, but he also in that fight they grappled in that fight, didn't they? Him and Alex, didn't he take Alex down?
Yeah, but Alex is not known for
exactly. No, that's what I'm saying though. Like I want to see what he's gonna do when an individual like this, who's younger, is gonna come forward, apply pressure, who has power, who has grappling. What his game plan is gonna be, right? Because like I mentioned, against Ulberg, he was the chaser, he was the hunter, right? And now he's gonna be the hunted. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But we're both on the side of Bogdan Guskov to get it done. We'll move on here to our next bout. Henry Cejudo, Triple C. It's your former bantamweight champ, your former flyweight champ, your Olympic gold medalist, taking on Peyton Talbot. They have him currently. What I'm looking at is at a plus 225 for Henry Cejudo and a minus 275 for Peyton Talbot. I agree with these odds. A lot of people on X are saying, "Oh, but Hayoni took him down. Hayoni controlled him." Okay, that happened. I think Peyton Talbot didn't do his homework on Hayoni and just, thought, I'm going to knock this cat out, and boom, was taken down. But Henry Cejudo, he does have the wrestling acumen. He does have the wrestling background, but he hasn't utilized it as much, right? We put out that tweet a couple of days ago, right? Going over his previous stats. Let me find it real quick, if that's okay.
Yeah. was also the way he was finishing fights, right? Because like it's
Yeah.
just UFC loves a KO fighter. Let's be honest with each other. UFC loves
So
that.
so if you look at Cejudo in his last three fights against Yadong Song, Merab Dvalishvili, and Aljamain Sterling, and I understand those are all champion, former champ in the top five, right? So take that with however you want to take it, right? It's tougher competition than when Peyton Talbot has faced, but Henry Cejudo in his last three fights had gone 4 of 18 on his takedown attempts. He went 0-3 against Yadon Song prior to that weird finish with the eye poke, right? Where he wanted to continue, and then he didn't want to take the disqualification. So he went to the scorecards even though he was down by 4 rounds. It was weird, right? It was a weird thing. He went 1-7 against Merab Dvalishvili. Merab Dvalishvili actually picked him up and walked him across the octagon. You remember that? And then he went 3 of 8 against Aljamain Sterling. Talbot, after that loss to Coyote Barcelos, came in against Felipe Lima. And Felipe Lima has it all, right? He's well rounded. He has the grappling, he has the jiu-jitsu, he has the striking. But Peyton Talbot in that fight looked better. Like he stuffed some takedowns. His get-up game was good, and he looked big. Like he came in visibly bigger. And I think that's one of the comments that you mentioned to me. You messaged me like, this dude looks way bigger than his last fight, right? And he's already big for the division. He's a big guy. He's standing at what? 5'10", 5'4". He has 3-inch reach advantage over Cejudo. I just don't see a world where Cejudo's gonna come in like the Cejudo of old and take him down, right? He has like that karate base, and then I just don't see a path to victory for him where he can take him down and control him, because we haven't seen that from him in a while, right? Granted, he was fighting against top competition, right? So we can be a little disillusioned, right? But
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it in his last 3 fights. So Talbot, he has a knockout power. He has good takedown defense, as we saw last time out. That little hiccup against Ione Barcelos probably woke him up. And I'm interested as to why he took this fight. He probably wants to prove that, listen, I do have a good ground game, right? So I respect him for taking this fight, right? Because he could have been like, no, you saw what Ione did to me. I'm not going to take this fight. But I'm going to go with Peyton Talbot here, man. I think Henry Cejudo, 38 years old. He's doing the podcasting, right? He's streaming with Rampage, right? Talking about fart boxes. I don't know, man. I'm going to go with Peyton Talbot.
I'm gonna go with Peyton Talbot too. I just don't. This Henry Cejudo, bro. Henry, bro, like when he became, champion, bro, like, he entered into this weird negotiation phase with the UFC, and he
Well, he
said
left.
basically, well, he retired because he wanted to
Yeah.
get paid more money. That's not
Yeah.
how it works. Like you fulfill your contract, and like, you see, that's the one thing, bro, about UFC fighters that I don't get. If you are not happy with the contract, don't sign it. Don't just don't sign it, bro. And what did Dana do? Dana called the bluff. Okay, well, you're not a needle mover. That's what it is, bro. And yeah, he feels that the UFC has been giving him like these bad matchups, and he feels that the even Talbot fight is like it's the UFC's way of like, okay, well, you fucked us over with after retiring after Dominic Cruz, so here's Payton on your way out. But what other fight could you give a guy that's retiring after this fight? He's not gonna fight for contention. He's not hungry enough, right? Like, I do like the Usman and Cejudo podcast more for Usman. I like Usman a lot. The way he breaks stuff down, he's very realistic and real. But when I look at Henry, they often talk about alpha males and eating, and Kamaru still with the championship mentality. I'm gonna eat well. I'm gonna train well. I don't
Yeah.
see that from Henry. I
No,
don't.
he's
And
smoking weed. He's smoking weed. He's eating. He's messing around.
messing around, and like an up and coming guy like this, like, and I think they both trained together, but that was a while ago. Like this is a different fucking fight. Like the fact that is you couldn't take Zong down. Well, and what I told you after going into that fight. Also, very very quickly, if Cejudo did the lowest IQ shit I've ever seen from a fighter, right? Gets eye poked. If he, I was gonna win so much money. If the referee tells him like, take your time. If you can't continue, we go to, it's a DQ and you're gonna win. So what happens? He takes the time, takes the time. 5 minutes later, okay, bam, finishes the round, goes to his corner and says, "Hey, I can't see." What do you? Doug, what was the 5 minutes for?
Yeah.
right? So starts the round. What's the first thing he says? I can't see. So now, because it left the third round, we're going to the judges' scorecard. So there's a little bit of low IQ there that I was just like, man, this is your AAA champion. Like again, it could have been like I don't know, bro. It was just one of the most stupidest decisions he's ever committed when it comes to win. He could have won that fight, especially on the DQ. But I question his motivation. I question his hungerness. I look at David Talbot, and he's on the rise now. Felipe Lima landed 3 takedowns. That's a young cat. Will Henry land one? Because maybe that's my prop bet. How many takedowns does he land? And they're not listed right now, but I am going to go under for Henry. So there's an under 2.5. I'm going to go for the under 2.5. And I think at a minus 275, it's not a bad bet, bro. It's like I said, it's not a bad bet. But yeah, I'll look at the live bet. I'll determine there, but I'll put an under takedown for Cejudo.
Okay. Right on. We're both on the side of Peyton Talbot. We'll move on to our next bout. We have Tatsuro Taira taking on Brandon Moreno in a flyweight bout, 3 rounds. Now, what do we know about Tatsuro Taira? Right, he suffered his first loss in his career up against Brandon Royval 2 fights ago, right? Where, in that 5-round fight, he got tired and his striking was the lesser of the two, right? Prior to that, he beat Alex Perez via KO via a knee injury, but Alex Perez was kind of piecing him up on the feet as well in that fight, kind of winning until the injury happened. Even though he won the first round, Tatsuro Taira. And then he beat a short-noticed Hyung Sung Park via submission. Now, this is my issue with this fight. Who was he originally supposed to fight in this fight? Where Hugh Sung Yuk came in. Who was Tatsuro Taira supposed to fight?
Oof.
Because it was supposed to be Park and Ursig, right?
Yeah, and then it ended up becoming Well, I'll just look at here, right? If I go here and I look at the five,
Who's
we'll look at the
supposed to fight?
cancellations. Here it is. Amir.
Amir
Amir
Abbas is
Abbas.
a wrestler. He was supposed to fight a wrestler, but I would have wanted to see more of what he improved on in that fight, right? Because that Brandon Royval fight, he did have some things where he needed to improve on, right, in terms of his gas tank and his striking. I would have loved to see that in the next fight against Hyung Sung Park, but he finished him via face crank, right, via submission. So, and then that's a grappler as well, right? It's not a striker. It's not a well-rounded individual. So what I'm trying to get at is I would have wished that fight would have got longer, would have been more competitive to see how he improved on those things, right? But we don't know if he did or if he has. I'm assuming he did. He's going up against Brandon Moreno, who last time out beat Steve Ursik in a pretty dominant performance, right, via unanimous decision. And then he beat Amir Abbasi that time around. And this was him coming back from that break. He got his mental right. Taira, he's well-rounded. He sets up his takedowns well with his strikes. He controls the body well with his legs. He has a really nice body lock. He was out-scrambled and lost on the feet against Royval, as I mentioned. Moreno, he's durable. He has that Mexican boxing, right? He throws a nice jab. He has good stamina, good cardio. He has fluid boxing and grappling. He transitions really well. His fight IQ is really good. His striking defense isn't the best, but I don't think he should be too concerned here. He has a 64% takedown defense, right? And then, as I mentioned, he beat Ursik last time out, where his boxing output and pressure were the key difference. He utilized his jab well and beat Ursik to the punch every time. You look at Tatsuro Taira, his last opponents, like Park, had a 47% takedown defense. He took him down 4 or 5 times. Royval had a 45% takedown defense. He took him down 6 of 14 takedowns. Perez had a 75% takedown defense going into that fight. He was able to secure 2 of 2. And then he got the knee injury, right? Carlos Hernandez, who has 65% takedown defense, he attempted 0. And then Chaires, who has 37% takedown defense, he was able to secure 2 of 3. Moreno has a 64% takedown defense. So if you're looking for a prop, right, how many takedowns do you think Tatsuro Taira might secure on Moreno? If
Yeah, I mean,
over
the
3,
big.
under 3.
I don't know because and this is what I was gonna tell you. I don't know what Moreno we get. and that's the curiosity with this fight. Like, what Brandon Moreno comes in, right? Because we've seen a couple different faces of Brandon Moreno. He hasn't fought in a while, right? Fought Albazi, fought Amir Ursig. The Royval fight, yeah, it was a close fight. You could blame it on a close fight, but he wasn't as active. I feel his last two performances were good, but like these guys, I told you strongly, like he's beating Albazi. I look at Tyra and I do see that there are I'm surprised they gave him the favorite. I'll be honest with you here. Now, there is a stat that if you look at Tyra's fight, bro, this guy should be called the Mexican killer. Let me ask you a question, bro. You being Mexican, bro, you're gonna side with this man? You're gonna put money, bro?
The Mexican killer, he lost to Royval.
No, well, Rival's not Mexican, but Alex Perez, Carlos Hernandez, Chaez, Aguilar, Verga. Bro, what is the UFC doing, bro?
Brandon Royval's Mexican, by the way.
He's Mexican.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
he's four
so you
wins,
can't
one
kill
loss.
you can't call him the Mexican killer where he got beat by a Mexican, bro. What are we doing?
That was a close fight. That was a split. That was a split decision. Eh? That was
Yeah,
a
but
pretty good.
listen. Who sided with the Mexican in that fight? Who got the underdog win?
You got it. You got it. And they also trained together. I didn't know that. You see, they also train together. It does matter sometimes when you train together. Let's be honest. You and I
I
know
don't know,
that. But
man. I don't know that.
Vergara, Aguilar,
Sean Strickland trains with Alex Pereira, brother.
and he be world champion, right?
I mean,
Okay. Okay.
he's-
Man, this is a very interesting fight. This is a toss up. This is
I'm gonna go with
you look.
Brandon Moreno. I'm watching Brandon Moreno on his Instagram. He's grappling, he's scrambling, he's working on the jiu-jitsu. I think he's gonna have the success on the feet. He's gonna have the success on the feet with the boxing. I know you made that face, but he is the better striker here. And then the
No,
scrambling,
of
he's gonna.
course.
If I look at the, because you made a face when I said success on the feet, you made a face like, "Whoa, you're tripping."
No.
Okay,
He is
and then
he is the better boxer.
yeah. And then I look at the Roval fight, like the scrambling. I think Moreno's going to incorporate that too. He's going to be able to scramble on the ground, bring the fight up to the feet. And it is 3 rounds, right? So he has enough to work with. But I think Brandon Moreno as a dog here. I already put money on him at a plus 120. So I'm gonna go with Brandon Moreno. I just think he's fought. It's the similar to Marvin Vettori, right? Like he's fought the better competition. He's always been at the upper echelon of the division, and we'll see if Tatsuro Taira is really him. If he's improved on those things, or if he's just gonna come in. Do you think he's going to control him the whole time? Do you think he's going
No,
to finish him?
no, I don't. Well, then what you do is so here's the thing about it. If there's a prop bet for decision, you go with Moreno. If there's a if there's a decision Moreno, submission Tyra, I don't even know if there is that on DraftKings right now. Bulldog used to give me that, but we ain't siding with Bulldog no more, baby. The decision for it's a plus 150
There
at
you
this
go.
point. Yeah, plus 150 for the decision. The submission for Tyra is a plus 500. I kind of, like I said, bro, like you even put like a little fiver because more like the when I go back here, like Pantoja had good success, but then Pantoja does have a tank, but it's only 3 rounds too, right? So it's one of those things where, yeah, I'm gonna go with Brandon Moreno. Like I'll tell you this, I'm gonna put a submission prop for Tyra. Easy $5, but I will bet a money line on Moreno because, like I said, at plus 105, and the thing is, like I feel that the Pantoja fight, Pantoja just has his number, and that was a split decision, right? The Royval fight was also a split decision, but the issue was that there was a lack of motivation where he spoke about it. I think he's been in a very good mental state, and this is the highest competition a Tyra could get. So Tyra wins this fight, he's fighting for a belt.
The
So
last time Brandon Moreno lost via submission was on the Ultimate Fighter to Alexander Pantoja.
there you go. Right. So like I said, a little prop bet plus 500 didn't never hurt anybody because that first minute, all it takes is the right cojones.
Right on. Right on. We're both on the side of Brandon Moreno. We'll move on to our co-main event. You know,
Oof, champ. Don't.
this is a topic of discussion. Like, Diego Lopez got the rematch with Alexander Volkanovski, and Diego Lopez responded by saying, "It pays to be active. Stop whining and get active." And that's
Yep.
exactly what Joshua Van has done. Right? He's been active. He got the title shot. He came in on short notice against Brandon Moreno. Not Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, and now he's facing off against Alexander Pantoja, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's interesting, right? Like just remaining active, doing favors come back to you sometimes, man, right? Like it doesn't matter. Like we're seeing it now more than ever. It doesn't matter how well rounded or how gifted you are, right? Like you got to be active. You got to have a bunch of stuff that uh, appeases the UFC, I guess, right? But Joshua
Yeah.
Van is here. He's here. He's going up against Alexander Pantoja. We'll start on the champ side. Pantoja's fifth title defense. He has solid striking. He moves forward. He shoots for a takedown where he's comfortable and thrives on the ground. He beat Kai Kara France in pretty dominant showing where he didn't let France settle on the fight and ended up submitting him in the third round. Van, when you look at him, he beat Brandon Royval on short notice in a unanimous decision fight where that fight was primarily striking. There was little to no takedowns, right? We did see Van incorporate some leg kicks. It was those guys. How many strikes did they throw? Over 300, I guess. Like it was over 200 or something like that. They threw it looked like a scene out of Dragon Ball Z, right? It was a great fight.
Oh man.
Saw them both get after and they throw with volume. Van incorporated some nice leg kicks in the third round, and guys threw it. They both threw a combined 600 strikes in a 3-round fight. Isn't that crazy, bro? Both cats threw 600 strikes. And then Joshua
Yep.
Van, we talked about it since his loss to, you know, since his loss to Charles Johnson, right? His KO loss. He had a quick turnaround. He came back. He beat Edgar Chaitis via unanimous decision. He beat Cody Durden via unanimous decision. He beat Ray Saruya via unanimous decision. And he beat Bruno Silva via KO. And then he beat Brandon Royval. So he's in a span of a year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's beat those 5 guys, right? And it's a tough task for him, man. I think this is I don't know, man. I would have liked to see him fight one more fight before getting the title shot. I think Pantoja is going to be a bit too much for him because although I've always sided with Van, I've always picked him. I think he's probably going to lose here because, I look at
Yeah.
the fight with Cody Durden. He did show good takedown defense. He did come up. He did get back to his feet, but he got taken down 2 times, right, by Cody Durden. You look at the Ray Saruya fight. Ray Saruya gassed out, but he was still able to secure, I think it was 6 takedowns or 4 takedowns out of 20 in that fight, despite even being tired right in the third round. And then I just think Pantoja is going to bring a different pace, man. Does he have the opportunity to shock everybody and get a knockout or win him on the feet or showcase really good takedown defense? Maybe. Maybe he stuffs a couple takedowns, right? But I'm going to go with Pantoja here, man. His 5th title defense. He's probably going to get it done here, right? Get his 6th one. I like Van. I don't think this is the end for him. I think this is going to be similar to like the Volkanovski and Lopez fight where it's a little too soon. And then the second time out, when he gets a title shot, he'll probably get it. But
No,
I'm gonna go
I
Pantoja.
think Van gets it. I think Van gets it. I think Van's gonna go out there and show great takedown defense. He's gonna now. I mean, the real here's where the real question lies, right? Like going into the 4th round, how does Van look? I think that's the question that we haven't been answered, right? And like this fight against Rival, right? Like this was a close fight, and
It was striking though. It wasn't. It was mainly an entertaining fight. It wasn't a full encompassing MMA fight where Royval was shooting and they were scrambling on the ground. It was just both guys just getting after boxing, bro. It's like a spar.
100%. And so you bring in, what do you call it, Saruya? Shot 21 takedowns, got 4.
No striking, no striking at
No
all.
striking. Yeah,
Yeah,
but Pantoja's striking is not. But Pantoja's striking is not elite compared to Van. You see that we have a situation where we have one guy is elite on the ground, the other one is elite on the striking, and then Pantoja sets up his striking to get his takedown. Van, this was good. When he got the takedown, he just banana peel, came up, got it right away. After that, what has Ray? Ray hasn't fought since then, right?
Nope.
After that fight, he hasn't fought, and he's gone on a good tear. Like he's, KO this decision. That was a close fight. That was a no-brainer for Van. This is a very interesting fight, champ. I think we have what could potentially be an upset. Like this is, and the fact that look at a minus 235, there is concerns, and I was going
What
with
concerns?
Royale.
What concerns?
What do you mean?
You said at
This
minus two
fight?
thirty five. There's some concerns.
Well, if it's so easy, like the odds should have exploded. If people really thought that Pantoja is a lock, he would be a minus 500 at this point,
Well,
right?
Islam Makhachev, a lot of people thought he was a lock. He was a minus 200, moving up a division, up
No,
against a bigger guy.
oh, minus 305, minus three.
No, he
Well, I
was a
mean, yeah,
minus
minus 305.
250. He was minus 250.
When? Not for me.
Oh, for me, he was.
Listen, let's not talk about my 5 takedowns, champ. Okay, 5 takedowns. We don't talk about that. Prop. I'm gonna go with Van, man. I think Van has the age, the hungerness, the grit, to kind of stand at a plus 195. I'm gonna wait and see because the other issue is that I want to see the size of Pantoja. I want to see how bigger Pantoja is against this guy. But there's definitely a takedown prop I would look for Pantoja.
Right
I'm
on.
gonna start with Van here. I'm gonna start with Van. Yeah.
You're siding with Van. I'm siding with Pantoja. I'm still a fan of Van. I think he's going to be a champ one day, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next up, we have round 2. Merab Dvalishvili taking on Peter Yan. Peter Yan has been on a 3-fight win streak. He beat Yadan Song via unanimous decision. He beat Davison Figueiredo via unanimous decision, and he beat Marcus McGee via unanimous decision, whereas Merab Dvalishvili is on a tear. He beat Henry Cejudo via unanimous decision. Sean O'Malley via unanimous decision to win the title. He defended it against Umar Nurmagomedov in a unanimous decision victory. He defeated Sean O'Malley in the rematch via submission, and then he beat Corey Sandhagen, where a lot of people thought Corey Sandhagen was the guy to dethrone him, right? He has the takedowns, he has the striking, he has the defense, all this crap, and then he got dominated in that fight. He secured 20 of 37 takedowns against Corey Sandhagen. And those takedowns weren't like really takedowns where he's looking to control you. He kind of utilizes his takedowns to keep you on the gas, like to keep the gas pedal on you, right? To keep you on your heel. Like, man, this guy's not going to stop. He just keeps taking me down, letting me get back up, keep taking me down, letting me get back up, right? And that exhausts you. He won 50-45 against him. His cardio is amongst the best, if not the best. He is the machine. His pressure and chain wrestling are on point, and his striking is consistently improving, right? We've seen his striking all the way from the Henry Cejudo fight to the Corey Sandhagen fight get way better. Like, we saw him hurt Corey Sandhagen with a kick to the body, I think it was, or I don't know if it was a punch or a kick to the body, but his striking is good. Up against Sean O'Malley, he stood there and banged with him for a little bit, so his boxing is getting better. He's going up against the former bantamweight champ who has really good boxing. He has solid technique, solid takedown defense and offense. He has really good wrestling, averages more than 1 takedown a fight per 3-round fights. This is a rematch from when they originally fought. And in that fight, Merab shot 49 takedowns and only secured 11. Do you see anything different in these two from the first time they fought 3 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think Peter Yan is going to come in more prepared now that he knows what he's dealing with, because he learned from that fight. That fight was like, holy shit! Like, it goes in Merab versus Aldo, Merab versus Peter Yan, all top guys, right? He is going to come more prepared. So here's the thing about it, right? You look at this fight, Merab takes a decision. Like, if I'm putting Merab on a parlay, great, I'll put Merab on a parlay at a minus 425. Now, when I look at Peter Yan, he could catch him. There's always a probability, specifically Peter Yan, that he could catch him in the first round. Did you know that the KO TKO prop for Peter Yan is at a plus 1,000?
Bet the house if you believe it. Bet the house if you believe it.
At the house, you spend $5 and put Merab in a parlay, and if it goes to shit, you know what? You got a KO from Peter Yan, because this will not, like, Peter Yan is winning by decision. So you have to factor in order to get value, that the only way he gets it is submission, which he's not known for that, but the KO. If Merab, comes in Canelo hands, which his hands look better,
Yeah.
Every time he has to go for a takedown, there's a knee, there's a striking. That disappears after the third and fourth round. Let's see how much he shoots. Based now, here's the thing: the prop betting for the takedowns from Rob, they're not out yet. Let me double check. But if you, so I made like plus 200 because I bet Marab would get 8 takedowns. My boy got 20 some 22 takedowns. Bet the house. We would have been retired by now. The issue with the prop betting for takedowns now is that these websites are going to milk it. They're probably going to give you a good odd, but Marab has to hit like 11 to 12 to 15 takedowns. That's not always going to be sustainable. Let's be honest with each other, right? You don't know Marab. Maybe he has a little bit of flu. Maybe he's fighting. Like it's very it's going to be interesting, champ. But I will say this: I got Marab. Marab gets it done. Minus 480. He dropped down to a what? To a plus a minus 425. So some people are picking Jan to win, which is interesting. Because like I said, the opponent caliber has not. The McGee fight was like, look, fight this top contender, fight this guy. If you win, we'll give you a title shot. That's what I feel like. Davison Figueiredo knocked him down. Yadon Zong neutralized him on the ground. Three-round fight, 5-round fight, 3-round fight.
I think Marab's gonna approach this fight similar to how he approached the O'Malley rematch, right? He's gonna approach it and he's gonna look to either get the finish. And I know Peter Yan hasn't been finished, right? He has been knocked out or submitted, but I think we're gonna see Marab come in and try to get that finish, man. Hey, he's at that point now where he's chasing greatness, right? Like I think Usman, you said you like Usman the way he breaks down stuff. He's at that point where he's kind of lapping the division now. He's rematching these guys, and in rematches, he's against O'Malley. He got the finish, so we'll see if he does it here, man. That would be crazy if he did, right? It'd be crazy.
No.
So I'll look at that, but I'm gonna pick Marab. I think since their first fights, I think Marab has gotten way better, right, in terms of like his striking. And I know people would give him a lot of crap for like Henry Cejudo, knocking him down, I guess, hitting him with that left, and then Morales knocking him out with that, knocking him down with that left as well. So, but I think he's gotten better, man. His fucking striking defense, his striking technique overall. So it's gonna be interesting, man. But I'm gonna go with Marab to get it done here. This card has been set up with a lot of grapplers, huh? Grapplers versus strikers.
Yeah, it's
Setting
a
the
lot
tone.
of. Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a very impressive. Like, yeah, the way this is done, it's very impressive. I'm putting on a parlay, right? Because I do have Joshua Ban on a parlay, um, and I'm thinking from a perspective of like even that's a little bit kind of like dangerous for my taste, right? But it's okay. Like it's just I think I'm gonna do a little bit more parlays here. I'm still gonna do live betting. Don't get me wrong, but my parlay game goes up in this fight. There are people that you put fucking Jalen Turner, you put in Macy Barber, you put in Grant Dawson. There's certain fights that I like that I think there's a lock, and others are like I think he's a lock, but there's also the what if. That's why I do respect Pantoja. I think Marab is a lock. The only way he gets finished is it's a TKO KO. But Marab has a chin, bro. Nobody's been able to finish Marab. And even like, bro, the only finish is Ricky Simone. And if you saw that fight, that was pre-pandemic, and that was a submission hold that Marab held, and he was fine. Who holds on to a rear naked choke for 2 minutes and is still surviving, right? And he was, he didn't move. No shit. 2 minutes. It's like, come on. Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. Go with Marab. Champ, it's gonna be a great card. We'll be live on X if you got all the way here. Subscribe to our channel if you're looking at this. We will drop our bets hopefully by tomorrow. I think we should drop them by tomorrow, champ. I have to say, if you already
right on, he closed us out. Peace, everybody. Late.
Take care.